Hi kids. In today's session you are going to learn about early Tamil society and culture. Under that we are going to discuss about the sources for the study of early Tamil society. What are the sources? Classical Tamil literature, epigraphy, archaeological excavation and material culture, non-Tamil and foreign literature. First we will move on to the classical Sangam Tamil literature. The classical Sangam corpus, it is consist of the Tolkappiyam, Padinan Mel Kanakku and the Padinan Keel Kanakku. Padinan Mel Kanakku means 18 major works and the Padinan Keel Kanakku means 18 minor works as well as the 5 epics. Okay, first we will move on to the Tolkappiyam. It is attributed by the Tolkappier and this one is the written work on the Tamil grammar. Apart from elaborating the rules of grammar, the third section of Tolkappiyam also describes poetic conventions that provide information on Tamil social life, how the people lived in Tamil Nadu. About that alone, it is describing in Tolkappiyam. They are said about the Tamil grammar. Apart from that, what they are saying that they are said about that means they are giving the explanation about the how the Tamil people lived. The text of Padinan Mel Kanakku included Pattu Pattu and Ettu Thogai. And Pattu Pattu and Ettu Thogai, what are that one? We will see there. Ettu Thogai, Natrinai, Paripadal, Karundogai, Padittrupattu, Aingirunuru, Kalithogai, Agananuru, Purananuru. And the Pattu Pattu, that and all, Tirumurugatrupadai, Porunanutrupadai, பெருமானாற்றுப்படை சிறுபானாற்றுப்படை முல்லைப்பாட்டு நெடுநல்வாடை மதுரை காஞ்சி குறிஞ்சிப்பாட்டு பட்டினப்பாலை அண்ட் மலை படுகொடகம். ஓகே, பதினெண் கீழ்கணக்கு. What is the பதினெண் கீழ்கணக்கு? It comprises of the 18 texts elaborating on ethics as well as the moral. Okay, this பதினெண் கீழ்கணக்கு, that one, that ideal salon, what it's coming there, Tirukkural also. Okay, Tirukkural, about the Tirukkural. Actually Tirukkural, it's giving the explanation of the how the people should live, life of the people also we may say. Okay, it considers the morality, statecraft as well as the love. Okay, how many poems are in this one? That means the couplets they are saying, how many they are? 1330. What are the 5 epics? We will see them. Silappadigaram, Manimegalai, Sivaga Sindhamani, Valayabadi, Kundalakesi. In this one, Silappadigaram and Manimegalai, they were called as a Irattai Kappiyam in Tamil. Okay. Epigraphy. Epigraphy, it is a study of inscriptions. Inscriptions are documents scripted on stone, copper plates and other media such as coins, rings, etc. The development of script marks the beginning of the historical period. Through this epigraphy, that means through the inscription, we may come to know how the people they wrote. Okay, actually how the people they lived also, what are the things they utilized also, what they did there. They made some inscriptions on from the coins we may know that one, how that means from which period it belonged to, as well as from the what is on copper plates we may know. Okay, that means from how they lived, what are the things they utilized, the Tamil people, everything we may come to know from that inscriptions. Next, Tamil Brahmi inscriptions. What is the Tamil Brahmi inscriptions? You may see in this picture itself how the Tamil Brahmi inscriptions it is there. Okay, actually from 30 sites we found this Tamil Brahmi inscriptions. Caves were the abodes of the monks. Actually caves are the abodes of them, that means monks, is this sannyasis we are saying, that people they lived in the caves. And also mostly the Jain monks also they lived in that places. What they did there, they made, that means how to live in our life as well as how the people lived in that period. Everything what they did there, they sculptured on the stones. That means in the caves they lived, isn't it? In that one, what they did there, everything they wrote with the help of the nail. And The natural caves were converted into residence by cutting a drip line to keep rainwater away from the cave. Inscriptions often occur below such drip lines, most probably where they wrote below the drip lines. You may watch from the picture itself. The drip line it also shown there. Below the drip line alone, what they did, they wrote what they want, everything they wrote in that alone. Okay, next we will move on to the hero stones. What is the meaning of the hero stones? Hero stones are the memorials erected for those who lost their lives in the battles and in cattle raids. Okay, cattle raids, that means what they cattle, when they are riding the cattle, at that moment when the tiger, otherwise lion, anything, if it came to attack the animals, what they did, they fought bravely with the animals, and it may, if they died in that, means what they are doing, they are keeping one stone for them, that is called as the hero stone. As well as when they are fighting with other people to safeguard their people, at that moment if they died also, that means during the war if they died also, what they did there, they made one hero stone. Okay, that means to depict about him, that means in that one what they did, they depicted about his birth. Actually birth they doesn't know correct thing, isn't it? So what they will do, just they will write their name and when they died and due to what they died, whether they died in the cattle raids, otherwise in the war, everything what they did there, they depicted on that stones. The Mullai landscape followed the pastoral way of life. Tribal chieftains plundered the cattle wealth of enemies whose warriors fought to protect their cattle. Okay, most probably in the Mullai tribal people, they only wage so much of the war like that. When the other people they came, that means the enemies we may say. Okay, when the enemies they came to capture their what is that one, wealth, it may be their wealth, means what they used to robber there, the other people, that means only the cattle only, because they need the cattle alone. Cattle means cow, goat, bull, we are saying, no, this all comes under the cattle things. They come to robber that means to exploit, we may say, as well as robbery only, thieving only, we may say. Okay, when they are coming to robber that cattle, what these people did, they waged a war. The Mullai tribal people, they waged a war with the enemies to safeguard their people as well as the cattle. Tolkappen describes the procedures for erecting the hero stones. Okay, Puliyaman Kombai hero stone alone I showed here. In the actually Puliyaman Kombai is a village in the Vaigai River Valley in Theni district. Okay, in 2006, rare hero stone inscriptions in Tamil Brahmi script were discovered in this village. One of the inscription from Puliyaman Kombai reads, Kudalur Akkal Pedu Diyan Aandavan Kal. Okay, what they are saying, some Kudalur Akkal Pedu, that person name they given there. Aandavan Kal, what they are saying, Aandavan, they are calling them as a hero, we are saying in English. What they are saying, they are saying him as a god itself. That means they maybe thought them as a one who fought for them. What they are thinking, that they are thinking them as a god itself. Inscriptions. Pottery vessels from the early historic period have names of people engraved on them in Tamil Brahmi script. Pot sheds have been discovered in Arikamedu, Alagankulam, Kodumanal, Keeladi and many other sites in Tamil Nadu. Pottery inscribed with names in Tamil Brahmi script have also been found in the Egypt. That means we come to know that that Tamil people, that Sangam Tamil people, they had the trade between the Egypt also. Okay, not only in the Egypt, as actually they found in the Red Sea coast near also. That means we had the what is that one, trade in between the Egypt people and the Tamil people, we come to know. Most probably the Tamil, it was many of the names it was right in the Tamil as well as in the Prakrit language. Prakrit language, it was used by the Jain people. Okay, it was used by the Jain people in that language as well as in the Tamil language only they wrote there. Okay, Archaeological sites. Archaeological excavation refers to systematically digging a site to recover material evidence for exploring and interpreting society of the past. That means we are getting the knowledge from what? From the archaeological evidence. That means from the past what happened, like that we come to know in through the archaeological evidence. That means through the buildings, we may say, okay, through the buildings, as well as through the what is already we studied about the Mohenjo-daro in that one great bath, like that is, that means from the swimming pool. Most probably we may say only the buildings, okay. That means archaeological sites means only the buildings alone. From that buildings we come to know how the people lived during early period, okay. This one is called as a archaeological survey also. When they are doing about the survey, we are saying that as a archaeological survey. In Arikamedu, I showed in the picture, isn't it, a ring well at Arikamedu, that one ring well, like that. What they did there, well, you know, isn't it, we are taking the water from that well, isn't it. What they did, that ring shape, like that they did that. That means where we are saying that after studying about the civil engineering only we come to know how to build a building, like that we are not saying. But before, in the early period itself, they utilize the methods like that what we are utilizing now after reading that, okay. After completing one degree only we are saying that we may do like this, we may do like that, and all we are saying. But before itself they decided how to do, okay, how to create everything. They decided before itself. That means not decided, they created, okay. How they created, that is the knowledge, okay. Not only through the studies we can't able to get the knowledge, through the experience alone we can get the knowledge. Archaeologists have found evidence from the artifacts such as beads, bangles, chemos, interlaced and other materials in these sites also. Tamil Brahmi inscriptions on pottery and coins have also been unearthed. Coins as a medium of exchange were introduced for the first time in the Sangam age. The coins of the Cheras, Cholas, Pandyas, punched mark coins and Roman coins form another important source of evidence from the Sangam age. Bullion. They were used the bullion for their metal value and as ornaments. What is the meaning of the bullion? Bullion means precious metal available in the form of ingots, okay. Next, non-Tamil sources. Yet now we studied about the Tamil sources. From that how we may know about the Tamil people in the early age. That only we studied. Now we are going to learn about the same thing about the Tamil people only from the foreign accounts. Foreign accounts mean the people who came from outside India. What they wrote, that they wrote about the Indian people, okay, as well as Tamil people, how they lived, everything they wrote in some books. That alone we are going to see now. Arthasastra, the classic work on economy and statecraft authored by Kautilya during the Mauryan period. Actually, Kautilya is from India alone, but from the North India, he wrote about the Pandyan country. Mahavamsa, the Sri Lankan Buddhist chronicle composed in the Pali language, mentions merchants and horse traders from Tamil Nadu and as well as from the South India. Periplus of Erythraean Sea is an Asian Greek text whose author yet now we doesn't know, okay. But from the Periplus of Erythraean Sea we came to know about the sailors, those who moved from Tamil Nadu to other countries, that means to the Greek country especially. Next line is natural history. Actually it is wrote by the Pliny. He was the Roman person. What he did, he written that book in the Latin word. In that one he said about the pepper trade with India, okay. Next, Ptolemy's geography is a gaster and atlas of Roman times, providing geographical details of the Roman Empire in the 2nd century. Kaveri Pumpattinam, Kanyakumari, Korkai and Musiri are some of the places mentioned in that books. Next, Pendigrine table. Pentingrian table, it is an illustrated map of the Roman roads. It shows the areas of ancient Tamilagam and the port of Muziris. Vienna Papyrus, Greek document datable to the 2nd century AD, mentions Muziris trade of olden days. It is in the Papyrus Museum attached to the Austrian National Library. Austria, you know, is in Vienna. Okay, Vienna, it is in Austria alone. In that one, in that country, in the museum, they kept about what happened. That means the Greek document, Vienna Papyrus, they kept in that museum. In that one, from that one, we came to know about them pepper and ivory, how it was exported from India to the Roman Empire.